That's why I always urge my subscribers to create their own study room on YouTube. I have set up a separate YouTube account for that purpose. Currently, I'm subscribed to more than 80 channels, including Oprah Winfrey Network, OWN, which belongs to my role model, Oprah Winfrey, The Ellen Show, Live Academy, where I learn English, an economic analysis channel, and a science information channel. When I'm too busy to watch new videos uploaded on my subscription channels and want to watch them later, I press the Save button on the video and send it to my playlist. My playlist has categories such as role model, English study, economics, science, philosophy, and many others. Together, they make up my own educational curriculum. That's how I stay connected to the many sources of knowledge that are now available all over the world. The key is to connect with them early and stay connected so that you recognize changes as quickly as possible, no matter how turbulent the times may be. Step 3. Learn digital grammar. I started learning Python a couple of months ago. Python is a computer programming language that is now widely used in the IT industry, and it is mostly used for machine learning programs. When my employees heard that I was going to learn Python, they cried out in disbelief. They said, "Learning English is hard enough. How can you learn computer language on top of that? Why do you want to learn it anyway?" I told them, "I'm going to write simple apps myself. That's why." They asked, "Do you have any idea how difficult that is? Why do you want to do it yourself? You can just give the job to app developers." I answered, "Being the leader of a company, I should know the basic language that the developers use so I can work with them to create the app that I want. How do you expect me to let developers know what I want when I don't know the language and cannot communicate with them? I can envision my business only as much as I know digital." Lately, I have been channeling all my energy into the digital transformation of MKYU. I keep envisioning what will happen when digital technology is introduced to the existing educational format. I understand the broad concepts of big data and artificial intelligence, but I don't know their details and therefore cannot envision the end product that would result from using them. I want to develop an app version of MKYU, but I realize that even though I've seen many apps created by others, I don't know enough about the process to do it myself. None of my employees knew anything more than I did either. Given the situation, it seemed that it was going to be difficult for me to recruit good IT professionals, let alone understand what they were telling me. I thought that when you are the head of a company, you should at least be knowledgeable enough to have a conversation with employees about your core business. That's how I started taking Python lessons once a week from a graduate student in her late 20s who was majoring in computer science. I started the lessons ever so confidently, but after just one class, I was humbled. As I should have expected, computer language was extremely complicated, and there was a lot to memorize. But while learning it, I gradually began to understand its language. The more I learned about what was going on behind the screen while I was watching videos on the internet and using apps, the more confident I became. At the same time that I am studying Python, I am gaining a developer's perspective of the world as well. In our first class of coding, my tutor explained, "So what Facebook was thinking here is, what Google wants to show is..." I had been busy clicking when I visited portal sites, but now that I was looking at them from the viewpoints of developers, I was able to get completely different interpretations and ideas. It was a shocking experience, and I was extremely envious of the developers. How many business ideas would I find if I could just see the world from their viewpoint? Most of the high-tech companies that are changing the world, such as Facebook, Apple, and YouTube, are run by CEOs who used to be developers or who are at least as imaginative as developers. In the post-Fourth Industrial Revolution world, you can envision and design business in the right way only when you understand digital on the same level as the people who produce the technologies. If you understand digital on the same level as consumers, you are likely to be stuck being a consumer all your life. I wanted to understand digital as though I were a producer, not a consumer. That's the reason I started learning the basic language, albeit only at an introductory level, so that I can know how this world is structured. But the more I learn, the more I realize that there is no need to be intimidated by digital. No matter how great a technology is, it is useless if it is not used to create content. Suppose there are people who don't know much about technology but have been creating content for 20 years. If these people become determined to learn something new, they can demonstrate tremendous potential, perhaps much more than those who only know technology and have no experience.